I'm going to share with you a little bit, just so you can see how we're working with the code. So this is a Qlik app. And in our Qlik app, we have some really exciting programs that you're going to get access to. And you're able to see all of the rules. It's all about the general ledger, but it's also about being able to analyze that general ledger in the most automated and efficient way, because we've got so many entities all over the world that we need to audit, and we just want to have a quick check. It's like, it's not the auditor's job to actually implement a control, right? But it can be the auditor's job to be able to do a quick check. But actually in this code, and this something is really important, we always put the comments, like the comments that you know exactly what we're doing, and that's really important. But you have to make sure that your team are putting really good, clear comments all the way through their code, and that the code is clean. Because if it's not, it basically means that person doesn't know what they're doing, and probably they made a whole load of mistakes. And it's only when you got your code like really nicely organized and with a very nice naming convention and stuff like that, that you can follow it, and you can look through it in 5 minutes and know exactly what's going on. So the first thing we do is to get all of our fields from the general ledger. And you can see it's like some things here which is really helpful. You know, like over time you get to know these fields in SAP, and some fields in SAP, they just have codes. And it's like, what does that mean? And like in SAP, you get the table, you got the general ledger, you're really happy, like, okay, now we're going to do some journal entry testing and stuff. And like, you look in the column and it just says, what is that? You know, and you can spend a long time going through blogs and everything, trying to work out what all those codes mean. And some of the codes are like pretty much standard, always exactly the same. And some of them are not. So some of them are like, you know, document type, you have to actually go into another table and get back to the description, stuff like that. And some of them, like this one is the account type. They are always the same. So it just depends, and you get to know them, and this code's really going to help them. And you've also got all the keys, you know, like how do we join this to that? That's something that David was asking about. It's like, yeah, but how do I find out, how do I join this table to that table? If you're into that and if you're doing this stuff, then at least for the general ledger, it's going to really help you. And there are other tips that you really need to know about. It's like, we don't actually care if we have the status here that's anything but blank, because if it's not blank, it's not even something that's going into your general ledger. Like, it's in the SAP database, but it's not actually something that's even going to impact your financial reporting. And so we don't care about it, right? So we should just totally ignore it. Then we have to convert everything into US dollars, because you've got different company codes, you've got different local currencies and stuff like that, and you don't want to mix all of that stuff up together. Then we want to find out if things are to do with payments, and we've got to get information from the chart of accounts, and then we've got to go through the posting key. What does it mean? What does the document type mean? What do all these other description fields? And we add them all together. And then we get all of our master data information, like the supplier. What kind of supplier? Is it intercompany supplier? Is it a one-time vendor? Is it a normal supplier? What kind of thing is it? Has it got a tax code? Is it linked to another customer? Who created it? All that stuff. And the same with the materials. Is it a generic material? Is it not generic material? What kind of material is it? And so all that stuff's really important, really good to be able to filter your dashboard on those kind of things, because like you might want to say, all right, I just want to do FCPA controls, but I don't care about raw materials. I only care about like goods and services and stuff like that. So that's the kind of thing you want to be able to do really fast on your FCPA dashboard, and all this information is really useful. And then we want to put things in buckets. So this is, for example, an asset sale, asset return, asset adjustment, or it's something to do with vendors. So it could be we're netting a vendor and customer together, or we're doing a supplier adjustment. Or, you know, if we're doing something normal, we're having a supplier invoice or a supply payment. So these are all the different keys, all the different flags that we are using in order to go through all of the SAP data, and at the end produce our dashboard that's going to help us to quickly see all different types of exceptions, like all the general entries, for example, for suppliers that don't have a tax code, or the customers that don't have a tax code, or all the general entries that are netting between a customer and supplier, and those two things are not even related. Like, it's all of these different flags that we want to be able to do. So we're going to get a dashboard like this one, but we're going to have a lot of different filters, and we're going to be able to filter really quickly on all of those FCPA questions. And we're also going to have some nice graphs, like, for example, you might want to have a map. And you've got a map, and you can see all of the general entries about suppliers that are in the Bahamas. things like that. So that's what we are preparing for you. All you need to do is send me an email and let us know, yeah, I'd really like to have a copy of that app. Can you send it to me? And then we're going to set up the link and we're going to let you have access to the really exciting Qlik Sense app. And if you haven't got Qlik, don't worry, because you can get a free trial. And I think you can get that for 2 weeks. And that will enable you to like go through, have a look, try it out and all that stuff.